Alright, so usually before our takeoff checklist, we're going to check parking brake, throttle, flap position, spoilers, instruments, engines, takeoff data V1, VR, and V2, nav equipment, landing lights, taxi lights, what else? Strobe lights, pilot heat, de-ice, transponder, that requires clearance, the takeoff checklist, and then the clearance, climb out checklist, throttle trim, auto throttle, autopilot, auto brake, below 10,000 feet, ATC, fasten seatbelts, no smoking, all that crap that you get used to over and over and over again. What we'll do is we will taxi and we will wait for clearance. And we will show you how this is done. Don't like that view at all. I'm not sure I like this view at all. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll release park and brake when we're ready. So normally what we would do is our checklist here. Takeoff checklist is before we take off, we're going to smoothly increase the thrust to takeoff thrust, V1 VR pitch, V2 positive climb rates, 2000k IAS, 220k IAS. Parking brake should be the first thing, and that's correct. Then throttle, then flap position, and then we have to adjust spoilers. There should be flight instruments, engine instruments, takeoff data, V1, VR, V2. What else? There should be nav equipment. There should be taxi lights, strobe lights, pilot heat, everything we talked about. Yeah. So this is an incredibly accurate representation of what you would actually be doing. Okay, so how do I get rid of... Okay, there we go. So first thing was parking brake. That's off. Yep, but that wouldn't be what we would do next. So we would release the parking brake. After we do throttle, we adjust flaps. So it's a little bit different, but... Alright, so normally our throttle would be everything here forward, full forward. So it should go full forward when we increase to take off altitude.
Southwest 625, turn next taxiway.
There we go. Now we would adjust our flaps, which should be down here, but they're not giving us the option to do that. So this is like the simplistic version. That's fine with me. So once we get to our takeoff altitude, we gently pull back on the yoke. Gently. Just give it a little tug.
Southwest 625, turn next taxiway.
There we go. Our landing gear.
For north departure.
Orlando Tower, Boeing Alpha Sierra, 747 continue for north departure.
Our throttle should be staying. There we go. Good. We have an outside view. Yes, we do.
Orlando Tower, Boeing Alpha Sierra, 747. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
So after 10,000, they should have said, please fasten your seatbelts. Our cruise altitude should be Orlando to Los Angeles, 36,000, 35,000 feet. We're at 3,000. Nice, slow, steady climb. Keep everybody happy on board, or else I'd pull back quite a bit. I don't like this view, to be honest with you. This is a terrible, terrible view. Focus on the nearest airport. That would be behind me. Okay. Be great if I had a co-pilot there. Those checks are usually verified twice, once with pilot, second with the co-pilot, that we did before we took off. Alright, engine 1, 2, 3, and 4, good, fuel's good. Airspeed 395, climbing slowly. Altitude 6,300, climbing extremely slow. So what we'll do is we will add a little bit more power and a little bit more pitch. And you see our airspeed on the left increasing and our altitude increasing. No need to trim the aircraft right now. Beautiful, smooth flight out of Orlando International on our way to New York. I'm going to assume once we reach our cruise altitude, air traffic controller will come over and give me a block to work with. So if you notice, you see how we're nosing down a bit? We increase the power a bit. What you want to do is, instead of using the yoke, you're going to want to trim. Right? See how now we're increasing altitude, but we didn't touch the yoke? Now you want to decrease your flaps a little bit. There we go. There we go. Gently. 13,300. Don't want to climb too steep. Want to back off our engines a bit. Flaps at full. Trim is -1. We're going to keep it right at 1. 1%, bottom right. You should see that. So we'll trim the nose, keep it at 1%. No need to touch the yoke. We're still climbing. Our airspeed is pretty constant, 268, 269. Very slowly increasing in speed. Nice, slow, calm climb to 36,000. I'm assuming it's going to be 36,000. That's what it usually is. Beautiful. Look at that. I'd have this on right here. Watching Netflix. DCS 2000, 200. Can't play with anything. $18,000. And you see we're in a steady climb, not even touching the yoke. Putting that trim 1%. Incorrect high altitude altimeter setting. To set the altimeter, press set altimeter. No, I don't think that's correct. I definitely don't think that's correct. Alright, we're coming up on 21,000, 22,000 feet. Still climbing. Let's see what they mean here. No, I don't want any of this stuff. I don't want the autopilot. No thank you. Shut that off. There we go. That's not what we want. Alright, so we're going to yoke gently to the left. Airspeed 297 and holding. What we'll do is we'll nose down a bit. And then we are going to trim down 6%. Bring that nose down. Gently. There we go. 2-1 and 0% trim. We should be level. We are. 25,400. That'll take us left a bit while maintaining that altitude. Very good. Trim minus 0%. Let's bump it up to 1%. Don't like that nose in that position. Let's go to 1%. There we go. We should be seeing a decrease. Here we go. Beautiful. Alright, let's level it out. That trim should be coming down quite a bit, so you should see as we don't touch the yoke, we're decreasing the trim. That nose should be leveling out. Minus 7% trim, minus 8% trim, minus 9% trim. There we go. Minus 14. We're good. Beautiful. All right. So we're at 307 for our airspeed, 28,500. We do not want to increase. There we go. There we go. So let's back off our engines a bit. That should decrease our speed and decrease our altitude. 27,460. There we go. Looking good. There we go. All right, we're at 31,000 and some change, 700. Slow descend, which is what we want, holding right at 31,640, 331 airspeed, trim minus 5%, which is what we want. So we want to bounce back and forth between our trim, our airspeed, and our yoke. Little air pocket there, and that's just really, really, really accurate. Alright, our trim, want that nose down some more. We're at minus 8%, minus 9%, 10%, 11%, 12%, 16%, and our altitude is leveling off. That's where we want it. So we'll increase our speed. There we go. -4, -2, -1, -0. 1% trim. Nose down. There we go. I'll tell you, this is a terrible angle. There's our horizon, altitude, airspeed. We're good. So normally you would just activate your autopilot and you see how we decreased our engine power, 36,000, 290. Going to slightly increase as we're back on track. 262 airspeed, 37,000 feet. 24% trim, 25%, 26%. Alright, my aircraft, 27%, engine speed good, airspeed good, altitude good. Boring flight all the way to New York from Disneyland in Orlando. You see how we have our airspeed now at a constant 266, creeping up 265, altitude slightly increasing. So I want to back off on that a bit. AOA. There we go. Yeah, flaps are full. I don't need that. No, thank you. .258 airspeed constant. 37.92 altitude constant. We are in a bubble right now. Sweet spot. That's where you want to be. Slightly increase, slightly decrease altitude, constant airspeed, on course. Just a little give and take until you hit that sweet spot, and then it's a long, boring ride. Let's take a peek around. Stewardess, I'll take a martini. I'm just kidding. Now the trick for landing is to try and do everything you possibly can to not put the aircraft on the ground. And I know that sounds strange, but all you're going to do is play with the power and the pitch, and the airplane has no choice but to come down. You're going to try and make it as smooth as possible till those back wheels touch. I don't know if we're going to get to that landing in tonight's stream because this is an actual real-time flight. I didn't realize that. I wonder if there's a way you can speed this up and get to the airport upon approach. 38,000, 480, 261 airspeed, 27% trim, flaps full. Beautiful. Oh, it's inoperative. Okay. Fuel control 2. We're not going to mess with that. We're good there. Here's the data entry. Ah, okay. Okay. Don't need to anti-ice in this weather. Okay, it's not nighttime. We're good. So do we want to get crazy? Everything in my... Every fiber of my being says no, we don't. But I would like to get down below that cloud cover and see the view. But we definitely should not do that. There's the nighttime sky. You know what? Why don't we do it? What the hell? Alright, let's trim a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we know that. We're doing it on purpose. So our airspeed is dropping significantly. There we go. Airspeed 278, 290, 280, 290 now. 32,000 coming up. Alright, we're headed for that cloud cover, and we break through. We'll get a good look at the... Alright, got some problems with the flap. Let's trim up. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. We just want to keep it in that position. $27,000. We've got a way to go before we break that cloud cover. That's as fast as a descent as I want. A little more, 25. We're starting to slow down a bit, so let's kick up our airspeed. Come on. We're creeping down. 22,007. That's not what I want. I want to decrease the altitude, not an increase. Come on. Why can't I control the power? The engine power. No, I don't want that. Oh, that's weird. we definitely should be passing into some airspace where we can see some familiarity. We are a steep angle. $15,000, $14,000. $12,000. We get below 10,000, everybody can take their seatbelts off. So we are starting to slow. You see the altitude. Now we're climbing because we cannot decrease that speed. So let's try and adjust that trim even more. Oh no, this is not good. There we go. %, trimmed, nose down. We're going to hold the stick back and let the trim take us down. Just fight it all the way. Oh yeah. We are 9,000 feet. Should be getting a warning soon. $5,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 1,000 feet. You see the lights of New York straight up. 500 feet, Lord have mercy. So it's not that accurate. It's not giving us, we're not close to the water. We should be much closer. $300, $200. We actually bounced, believe it or not, off the water. Did you see that? Wow. Not good. Alright, we're gonna stall. So, at some point, I would imagine that this is not a simulator. There's nothing realistic about this. Yeah. Apparently we are simulating something. You know what would be amazing? Is if I could actually trim up. Please tell me I can't do that. Okay. Alright. That's one hell of a sim.